Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let's take a look at adding notes to your passwords in the Mac and iOS Password Manager. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So a new feature in macOS 12.3 and iOS and iPadOS 15.4 is the ability to add notes to password entries in the System Password Manager. Now you can access your Password Manager in two places. One is to go to System Preferences and then go to Passwords. Then you can authenticate and you'll see your passwords here on the left. You can do the same thing in Safari by going to Safari Preferences and then Passwords and then Authenticate, and you get the same list of passwords. Just two different ways to access the same thing. Now in either location, when you select a password here, you won't right away see any indication that you can add notes. But if you edit, you'll see there's a new notes field here and you can add multiple lines of text. So this could be useful for adding additional information about the location or ID. So for instance, some websites may need an additional PIN number to get access to some information on the site. You can put that in notes. Others may ask you to verify your identity in a number of ways, like maybe answers to security questions, and you can put those here in notes. Still more may have other things that you may need. For instance, some may use special ways to get two-factor authentication, like a special app, and you can put a note in there reminding you of where to get that two-factor code. And then in other situations you may simply want to include information about the site or account. For instance, if it isn't obvious what a website is for, maybe it's for a device you bought and the website name is not the same as the device, you could put a note here so years later when you're looking through your passwords you can remember what this site is about. Or if you have multiple IDs for the same site, you can put a note here explaining why you have this extra ID, what its purpose is. Whatever you type here, it's going to be encrypted just like the password. So it's going to be secure. When you look at the password entry here, you'll now see the note and you can even select and copy the information right here without having to go into Edit. Now of course, thanks to iCloud Keychain, you can access this on an iPad or iPhone as well, as long as you're using the same Apple ID. So you can go to Settings here on the iPhone and then go down to Passwords. And from there you can look at the entry and you can see your secure note right here. And you can edit it just as easily here on the iPhone or iPad as you can on the Mac. Now I know some people are going to want to use this to secure information that doesn't have to do with a website account. And you can use it for this. But the Password Manager really isn't set up for that. When you go to add a new entry, you have to enter a website, a username, and a password. But you can just fake it. For instance, maybe come up with some identifier like securenote.com that you'll use for this kind of thing. And then for the username, you can identify the type of note like that, knowing that you'll see it here in the list. And for the password you can just put a primary piece of information about the secure note or just a dash or something like that. Then when you add it, you can now edit and type anything you want here in the notes and save it. And if you use the same domain for each one of these, then all your secure notes will be in the same place in the list. It's not ideal, and I hope at some point in the future Apple allows us to add entries here that just have a name and don't have to have a website, an ID, and a password. Then we can get the most out of using this notes feature. But until then, this works just fine, and of course then you could find these notes on your iPhone and iPad as well. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.